One day, very unfortunately, I was laid off. And the reason that I got laid off was my brother had died in a car accident in India. And I was on a visa situation. If I had to go back to visit my family in terms of difficult times, they would have to fire me because my visa would get into a complex situation, and if they wanted to avoid that, they had to do an audit, which they did. But let's not talk about company. Let me stay focused with what my experience was. So that's okay. It was fine. Company did what they could do well for me, and I did what was needed at that particular moment, which was to be with my family in India. So I went back, and I had already secured 3 different jobs here in America before going back. But now the visa process, right? Very complex process. In my visa process, it was initially supposed to be taking a time duration of 3 months in which I could have been back. Now, some of you have also met my wife. She is the pivotal point of this story. She had been my sole support in whatever I was facing through in that crisis situation where my brother had just died and I had been laid off. Yet she backed me completely with everything that I was doing. Though she had her fears, though she had her insecurities and worries, she never expressed them to me. And she constantly kept on reminding me that patience is a great virtue, and good thing comes to those who wait. She constantly kept on reminding me that sometimes God doesn't give you what you want, but He gives you what you need, and at time when you need it the most. All right? I went back to India, which was a good thing. I spent some time with my family. Now my wife, she was a student here in America. So she had to come back and continue with her studies. So 3rd November of 2013 is when we had to go back, and January 28th of 2014 is when she came back to America. Now, since that time to the time that I returned back, it was one of the darkest phases of my life. I was so afraid as to what's going to happen in my life next, because I didn't have any job. I didn't have a lot of financial savings, and I was not even sure if I was ever going to come back to America to be with my wife. But then, there she was, a shining ray of light, illuminating my life, my path, telling me the things that were right. The things that if you have patience, if you just do the things that you need to do, things will eventually fall in place. I, at times, was very hard, like very, very stubborn, would not want to listen to her. But then something inside me told me that maybe she's right. Maybe I should just listen to her and do the things that I need to do. And I did them. Eventually, with time, out of the 3 companies that had hired me or promised me a job, was able in securing me a visa. And that company is again here in town. The name is Food for Life. And I'm very thankful to them that they got that situation sorted. In the time that I spent in India, I realized that it was the right thing or it was essentially what was needed of me and for me, because I was able to connect with my family at a time when my brother had died. When I'm saying brother, I live in a joint family. We have lots of cousins, and he was one of my cousins. But he is my brother. He was my brother, and I was able to take care of my family with the crisis that they were dealing with. And probably that was what was most essential at that point of time. So, after I had taken care of that thing, as I was saying a few minutes ago, the visa thing, a week ago from the date of my arrival in America, I was not sure if I was ever going to be back. I arrived here on August 26th. August 19th, I was not sure. But I got a response on August 19th, and in a week, everything turned around, and on August 26th, I was standing here. And it was hard because at that time, I wanted to stay there in India for a while. But my flight tickets and everything gave me one option, to be back as quickly as I can. All the other flights were supremely expensive. So this, to conclude, all it tells me that if you have patience, good things will come to you. And they will come to you when you need them the most, not when you wanted them to come to you. Thank you.